Hey everybody, this is Johnny Wu here in Cleveland, Ohio. We are actually in doing the lockdown or stay at home order from the governor. So we're doing this through the home. First thing first, if you have any questions, please post it on the chat room on the YouTube. So this way I can see them right away. There is about a 20 to 30 seconds delay. Hi. So that'll take a little bit longer before I can actually see on the screen. This is about the AirCross 2, but some of the questions that people may be asking may be possible to be seen on the work on the Air 2. So I'm going to do a quick rundown first about the history of the AirCross 2, actually history of the Goodson. Goodson has been making gimbals since 2012. I was involved in testing the gimbal since 2015, and so it got me some time to about five and a half years to play with the gimbal from the first one or the two handles one, all the way to now in 2019 when the AirCross 2 came out in April, announced, and become a really good sale for it. Hey Sebas, hello BC Lab, hi Cataline, and hi Doubt. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy what I'm going to be saying here. So some of the things that the AirCross 2 is different from the other gimbals is that you can actually do two type of setup. You can actually set up vertically or set up horizontally based on the way of the gimbal's mechanism work with. So I'm going to go into that more in details, and right after I can finish talking here about some of the features. The other feature is the battery. The battery is used the battery port. My system froze up. Come on. There you go. All right, so there you go. We're using the battery system where they're actually detachable then, and also have a little port here that you can actually charge it with, and they make it very useful and easy to work with. The other thing that's very good about this gimbal is you can actually do most of the controls on the screen next to the joystick, similar to the Air 2. Yes, you can actually control the joystick speed. You can also control the pan and pan tilt roll speed on the wheel dial. You can also control how you want to use the big wheel here on the side to control the focus, or you can use it to control all the three different axes you want to. And finally, for balancing purpose, it's easy to balance because there are three different locking mechanisms on the gimbal. I'm going to show you shortly in the video so you can have an idea. Before anything else, the first thing you should probably do when you get your gimbal is to go to the website, goodson.com, and download the latest software for your PC or Mac, or the software for your phone. And then from there, you can actually do the updates. My recommendation to updating this is using a PC because it seems to be much more easier to work with. Some people have some issue with the Mac because the latest Mac OS have an issue with blocking anything that's not originated from Apple, or software that's not certified or by Apple. So that might be an issue for some people having issues updating. The new feature have a lot of cool stuff, and on their website you can actually see the release information, release note, and you can actually do that. So this is me. I'm chewing a cough drop just because I have some huge allergy going on here in Ohio. It'll drive me crazy. I'm going to also let you know that I'm using a free program, so bear with me a little bit when this is not doing correctly. I do my best to work. It's all connected to a wireless mic, so if you can hear me bad, let me know so we can try to fix that up. Oh, thank you, Sebas, for mentioning about the AirCross 2. I also have a cat, John, 16 years old, so he may be jumping into my scene and harass us. So hopefully that is not an issue. So here is the close-up of the gimbal. Hopefully you guys can see that. If not, we'll do our best to make it work. We could get rid of that. There you go. So in the bottom here, we have the grip. The tripod can be attached at the bottom. The battery can be released and put it back in together. You can actually pull this down, and there's a port, a holder. You can actually continue plug into the battery to keep it charged and using it at the same time. There's a 1/4-inch hole here in the front that you can use to attach monitors, magic arm to monitors, and so on. And we're going to do a quick learning how to do balancing work first. So the AirCross 2 comes with the air bracket. The air bracket is actually pretty basic use. You can use it for any camera. For today testing and demonstration, I'm going to use the GS5. So the GS5 do not have a cage, which means that it's harder to attach to the gimbal. So the L bracket actually be useful for that. We're going to just do it quickly, attach here, and then do it. I'm going to take this out separately and then do another one with the iFocus attachment to it. So basically you have that attached to the L bracket, secure in the back. Make sure it works well, and ignore my cat meows because he wants attention. And then basically it's how you can get it ready to roll. Now if you're going to use the iFocus, either the iFocus M or the iFocus, the one with the battery, you're going to need this adapter here that comes with it. Usually what I do is I have this place between the camera and the L bracket, so right in the middle here. So I'm going to pull that later and then do that. At this point, I'm going to do is show you guys fairly quickly how balancing I can do this simply. Thanks, Eva, for commenting. So, because this is a live camera, and you can actually have the gimbal set up on the back motor to be set on the left outside. This motor can be the right side, or can be the other way around, the opposite direction, this side. Like face this way so you can actually see it better. So you can either have it here or you have it in the opposite direction. It doesn't really matter how you set it up. But for most of the cameras, it's better to use it this way. The reason why we use the other opposite direction when the camera is a little bit heavy. For example, I have here the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and obviously you can see there's cages. This part of the hard drive, external hard drive, might be harder to set for balancing. So you can actually use this on. If you're going to attach this to the gimbal, you can actually use the little additional small plate that comes with it to the side, or you can also use the L bracket. So that's something to think about. Now keep remember that by using the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and a lens in the front, and then if you want to use the external battery, which is like the Sony NPF 750 or so on, or an external hard drive here, you're definitely going to consider using external counterweight, which you can attach on the L bracket. From here, on the L bracket in the front here, and in the back here, so also can be attached. I'm sorry, in the back here, though, in the L-shaped section of it. That's the only way that you can make it work. Obviously, you can actually take all the cage out and use it bare bones without it. It should not have any problem to do so. So now let's try to talk about how to balance this thing. I'm going to do a quick balance. Usually with a GS5, I can have the balance within 2 minutes. So I do my best. Yeah, can't do it with sitting down because the table is too short. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm going to try to face it in the camera. So first thing first, what usually I do is I lock down the bottom. I lock down this part of it, the pan axis, so it doesn't move around. So it's secured. I lock down the row axis, this row, yeah. Make sure it doesn't move around. And then what I do is I move this in the middle, center area approximately, secure that part first, and work on this part in the back part of this. So to other slide it in, you just pull this red knob out, you slide it in, and then you face the camera upwards and make sure you balance it. So basically it doesn't move when you let your hands go. So you go forward, downward, forward. That's me, you have to push back a little bit, and then you get to 80 degrees. So once that's done, you secure a little bit, and then you're going to do this part of it. So we're going to go toward this way. It's hard to do it when it's not facing me. I'm going to flip to the side, so I'm going to do my best. So that's kind of good. So we're going to do is we're going to secure this, tighten a little bit, go back up again to see what it works. Oh, it falls back a little bit. So what we're going to do is unscrew the other part of the section and do this. Okay, then secure that again, force forward, fall back to it and push this forward. So now, basically speaking, when you let it go, it should be able to stay in any position you post to it most of the time, not always. Sometimes it doesn't do 100%, then it means you have to do micro adjustment, which is pain about once in a while, but it takes some practice to get it right. Good thing about this gimbal and also the Air 2 is sometimes you don't have to be 100% perfect. It's the motor can help to counterbalance it up. So this is fairly decent. What we're now going to do is now the roll. We do is unlock this thing. Just remember that, make sure you always unlock it before you turn it on, otherwise it will go to sleep. And that happened to me once in a while because I forget about it. So once it's balanced, you make sure it go to, if it still fall downward, that means it's not completely balanced. We're going to just micro adjustment a little bit. Secure it and see. And once in a while I had this problem where the roll doesn't stay 100% in one direction. I was told it's going to be okay, but don't quote me on that. The best idea is make sure it balances well. So we know for a fact the top and bottom should work, to a degree. Now it doesn't want to work. See, when you do live, nothing works, right? So we balance it a little bit more again. I'm going to cheat a little bit later just to make sure this works. So it's not going to be 100% perfectly balanced, but it will do the job from what we can be doing shortly. So just bear with me. So kind of this way is working. This one is off a little bit, still a little bit heavy, that section. We're going to let it slide for now. The last one part we did balance the pan axis. Again, turn off the lock, move it back a little bit. Slightly, let's lock it down, tilt to the side. If it doesn't move, it's balanced. I do wish that there's a way you can actually keep it locked, balanced the way you want to, and put in the case. So that way, this way you can always take it out and make it work. Wishful thinking. Hopefully, Guston can figure that out. All right. Yes, the L bracket is a little bit too short for the Blackmagic Pocket, but it did work for me. I've done it before, and you had to use counterweight for it if you're going to use a cage, that's for sure. Hey, Wayne. All right, so now everything's on and set on this. What we can do is turn it on by pressing the button here. So in my case, it seems to be balanced. All right. So this seems to be okay right now at this point. I'm going to move my other camera, the second camera, so I can show a little bit different angle for you guys. Make my life easier. I can have it right in front of me. I can see it. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see the text, the screen? All right, cool. So that will be that thing. That's a very good question. Before I get that part, let me quickly show you how you can do underslug mode since I'm already there set up. So the only way to do underslug mode is this way, the way that we usually do it. The other way other people would do it is to actually put it on sleep by tapping the power button twice, 1, 2. So you'll be in sleep mode, and then swing it. I had to close the monitor screen because otherwise it will not be able to swing. And then once I swing it over, I had to turn it on, the monitor screen. Wait. And then double tap the power button again to turn it back on. There you go. So in under slug mode, the joystick will be facing forward. So it's a little bit misdirection. Yes, there's a few concern about from user that they would like to be able to manually switch this, reverse it. Yes, you can. You have to go in there in the menu to do that. It's not really that hard. There is one issue about that is people have issue about the selfie mode, 1, 2, 3 on the trigger. So everything change directions, but it doesn't look like, in my case, this is happening. So I think we are okay so far. 1, 2, 3. Double tap the trigger, which is here, and go back. So now it's under select mode, the usual way that we usually do it with other gimbals. So you can see it's working. The GF5 is actually a very decent camera weight-wise for the AirCross 2. And some people use the A7S, which is the lighter. Some people also use the Blackmagic Pocket 4K with no cages. So I'm going to put it back again to the normal position. Again, double tap the sleep mode to go to sleep. Close the monitor screen because you don't want to accidentally hit something with it. Put it back upside down, which I did wrong. There you go. And then double tap the power again to turn it back on. And obviously I should probably turn the screen out first. So that's basically how you can make it work. All right. Yes, Liam, in the second way to do that, basically in the normal way, most people would do it. Yes, you can do it that way. It should not have a problem. That's usually not an issue with that. That's a very good question. The focus length, okay, so that's let's go into that part now. So let's go into a little bit of the menu system. Let's see if I can get this right. And I can even see it too. So this live stream program is actually an iOS program. I'm using 3 different. I have an iPhone camera, and then I have a tablet, do the main one. So the iPhone one is the one I'm moving around. So here on the screen, when you press the record button, hold it down for a couple of seconds, then you have the options. Over here you have all the general information. For example, the camera part, you can go to left, you can select the camera, you tell what kind of cable you're using. This is helpful for if you want to use the cable to control the camera through the gimbal. Some cameras can be only do it stop and start recording, like the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and the GF5. The A7S can do certain part of it. The one thing about user has said that when they connect the A7S cameras or Sony camera into it, their HDMI out get disabled. So that, I believe, is something that deal with the processing of the camera, not the software. On Goodson website, you should be able to see all the compatibility listing of which cable can go with what camera. Some can control the ISO, the everything else on it, so that should not be an issue. Yes, Sebastian, the first way is the quick, easy way. The second way is the more robust way of doing under slug mode. So that's something to do. All right, so one thing about the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and controlling it through the AirCross 2. The cable is now available at the Goodson website. The only problem with that is it uses the USB-C port, which means that you can have an external hard drive attached to your Blackmagic Pocket 4K, because you only have one port, and one port can only either control the camera through the gimbal or use that for recording SSD card. So that's basically how Yes, the cable will affect the balancing. The most important thing about cabling is find the thinnest or the lightest cable you can get. That doesn't affect that much of the balancing, but it does affect a little bit. So, all right, go back to the menu. On the gimbal section of the menu, you have the motor, where you can actually control the motor speed, power. And here in the power, you can see there's under auto-tune. Auto-tune is what the gimbal would do to find the best scenario for the camera setup. Sometimes it doesn't do a 100% job. Then you have to go and adjust the level, and you can decide whether this one say ultra light, light, medium, or heavy. The difference between those is, I'm going to try to block the light so you can see it. The difference between those is if the easy to figure out which one to use is when you use a heavier setting. Let's say I'll go right now to medium. Sometimes the gimbal will stop vibrating, and that also means that it's not good. So you basically go to light, or you go to ultra light. In my case with GF5, on the lens I have right now, GF5 is really the easy way for me to do. So that should work. Hi, Eric. All right, so go back a little bit. Then you do say custom. Custom, you can actually decide how you want to do the trim, the tilt roll pan configuration, and the speed you want to go with it. And obviously, you can also do all the stuff. Filter is something to do with controlling the power of the motors. And that is something I do not understand how to do it right, so I don't recommend play with that. I've been told that the higher the number go, the more strength it gives to the power to the gimbal. So something that you can actually play with until you get it right. It's not problem with worst case scenario can happen. You just reset the gimbal again and no problem. And also talk about resetting gimbal. If your gimbal after updating the firmware doesn't work, don't panic. Redo the updates again. You can do as many times you want to. Eventually, will get to work. And because I had damaged a lot. One of my job here helping Moza is to break the machines. Yes, my job is to try to break them and try to make it work. So that usually something I test and make sure that you can get it back. And so far right now I can do it. So under the operations, you can actually see joystick, wheel, trigger, dial. The dial is the one, this part of it. The wheel is this side of the wheel that you can control two part of the settings. On the joystick, and this is someone, I think one of the viewers asked earlier that whether or not he can control the joystick sensitivity. That's you can do it here, and I'm very sure they can do the same thing with Air 2. So check that out. Let's see. Sunday Air to drift. Okay, so that's very important question, Lin. About drifting. Sometimes when you had to set everything out, altitudes and everything drift, the most important thing is do the calibration. In calibration wise, you go to advanced. Under balance check, I believe that is under. No, it's not. Sorry, I'll double check that again. Yeah, it's doing the balance check. Let me see. You can see the bigger screen. Let me tilt this toward the camera. There you go. A little bit too late. Sorry. Okay. Under the advanced section, there's a calibration menu. And the calibration menu is where you fix the problem with drifting. That happens a lot once in a while, especially when you don't use the gimbal for a while and then you turn it back on, then that will happen. So what you do here is, let me go back to the other screen. There you go. Sorry. You make sure you turn the motor off. You go to calibration. You hold the gimbal on place. So I'm going to do that right now. So first thing first, put the camera onto sleep mode. So you have to go all the way out, then go back into the advanced section of it, go all the way to the bottom part of calibration, and then see now the gimbal is, I'm going to put the white shot so you can see. So right now the gimbal is on sleep mode. So make sure you have it completely the way you want to. And then you press the gyro button. Go back to the other screen so you can see the menu screen there. Oh, you cannot see it. Let me find it. There you go. Oh. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, sorry about that if you don't, because I can do my best. I'm holding it with my hand now, so it become a little. I need to stabilize on my camera, on my phone, my hand. So once it is correctly balanced the way, level the way you want to, then you press the right section until the question mark turn OK. And then you go to ACC, make sure your camera, everything is sleep mode and leveled, and press the right power the button until you say OK. And then that's it. Once it's done, you go back to the main option and turn back on this off the sleep mode. That should not drift anymore, technically speaking. Okay, so about the battery. Yes, battery. One thing I've been told from Goodson, the battery may be some issues. One of the things we do here, I'm going to turn off the gimbal to take the battery out. The battery here, oops, camera's so big. This battery, it has the similar technology that you usually use on an iPhone. So what happens is you need to plug it in for 24 hours or more sometimes until all the light turns on. I have had this. This is new. I charged it one day for 48 hours. Lights all turn out, turns all full. I leave it off for 48 hours and or a week. I replug it in there. It doesn't never go to full. So it's a battery issue that needs to be fixed eventually, but it works to a degree. In the sense of, let's say you have it for 3-4 days, not using it, or a whole month not using it, and then one day before you want to shoot, make sure 3-4 days before the shoot date, plug it in and keep it plugged in until the day you need it. That's how I do it. I have also a lot of prototype batteries that still works, but it take me maybe a whole week to keep it charged, and another whole week to get depleted. One thing to remember, like the iPhone batteries, that is, when the battery goes to all the way 0, it takes a while for it to recharge back up. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see what else we can do here. All right, so some of the cool stuff that you can do with this is, we know for a fact you can use this wheel here to control the eye focus. So there's 3 modes. Let's see if I can see it again. I'm gonna push it back a little bit. Let's the camera to the front sections. Sorry guys for the dizziness if you get dizzy. I'm gonna try to make this easy for everybody to see. And I had to block the light so you can see the screen. So let's see if we can point it down. This corner here, this is the one F1. When you press the power button once in there, watch how it changes. Hopefully you can see the number. Let me get it a little closer. Yeah, it's hard because it's bright. Okay, now you can see now this way. When I press it once, it changes to F2. That means that you can use 2 eye focus setup. When you press again one more time, you become F3. Not 3, that's FE. FE is for electronic focus. Now that's only work when the camera is connected to the gimbal through the cables onto the USB port on the side of it. So that's only work that way. And only certain cameras will work with certain type of lens. I actually use Panasonic G5 with the, what do you call this? With the Panasonic prime lenses, lenses like the 1235, I actually can do zooming and focusing with the electronic focus feature, as long as you plug into the camera. And thank you again, Vila, about charging cable, using the different type of charger plug. That should work. So, okay, I'm just sorry about that. I was reading the other post there. So now the another feature about here is you can actually control the gimbals. I'm going to go to wide shot now so you can see a little better. So once you know that you can actually control, by pressing once each time it changes the different features. The other thing is you can press 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Then it changes into group sessions. So let's see if I can see that. You see that little thing there? The icon changes. Nope, it's too close. I'm going to go further away. So in this case, when the icon changes that features, I'm going to do this version now. Being home by yourself, doing the stuff like this, that's why it's a hard way to that. So now you can see the camera is, I'm watching, using the wheel to do the tilting. I press it one more time. I'm doing the roll feature. I press it one more time. Now I'm doing the pan feature. So when you press 3 times on this button here, you actually change your group feature to different options. So when you press 1, 2, 3 again, it becomes focusing part. 1, 2, 3 again, now you become controlling the axis. It's a good feature to use. And obviously, to go back to center, double press the trigger button, you go by the center. Let's see what else. And the question is there any rule to adjust the strength of each motor, or is it just error in just? There is no rules. You had the error in trial. You just basically go to the settings here on the screen, and then you can actually go and play around. Filter is one of the things that you want to look into it. Future and lean saying the same thing, and it's something that you had to keep going to figure that out. One of the things that people also ask about is how to use the mimic option. Mimic option is really not hard. I'm going to try to put this back and then use the wide screen angle. Okay, I'm going to change angle to this angle so you can see the camera. Hey, Jason. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the mimic control. First thing first, I'm going to do, couple things too. The wheel here, when you change the dial, it control the speed of the gimbal movement. So if I have everything 100% or 0, and then when I do pan, look at this. It takes forever to get there. Now if I change that to, move the dial to 100%, 100 rather. I'm not sure what you can do individually here, but I think that this is all 100%. So it's a quick mode. So basically, speaking to a quick mode. So each one of those buttons on the dial does a different features. I block the light, so I can't figure you probably not see it. The new updates is on the website. You can go to gustin.com and figure that out, please. Also on the user group, there is a frequently asked question announcement pinpoint. Actually have the detail how to do so too. So the top wheel part of the button, when you press once, you change the lock to follow. The one on your left to do the one in a row. The one on the bottom for the pan. And for quick mode, is this one here, the left or the right side, sorry. When you press once, it becomes quick mode. Quick mode, basically speaking, I should probably put it in 50. Is you can do left and right fairly quickly, or up and down when you have to follow somebody running like crazy. And the other feature is Inception Mode, which is 3 times this button here, which is the right button. 1, 2, 3. Now with the new firmware, you can actually control how fast and how slow you want to do the motion, and you can actually just press the joystick. You can actually do it where you can just hold the joystick down or let it go and do so too. Let's see how we can do that. There you go. By using the wheel. So that's Inception Mode. Thanks, Charlie, for watching and joining us here. All right, so we're going to do the app, the mimic mode. You do is you use the app called Master, Moza Master. Let's see what you can see it. Look at all the app I have. The one is the white color one. That's one you want to use. And then you want to go swipe into, actually speaking, you don't really need to swipe the AirCross, you just have to connect. And then you will see it if you have that one. I think this is a new one, so I'm going to go plus. And see that, I'm going to go select that one. Then you go to enter. So here, I'm not going to go into a lot of details because this is something I still haven't played with them yet. So I apologize for that. You can go to remote control. Basically, you can control the gimbal from the app. You can take photos. If your cable set up, you can click for selfie mode. It'll turn around to see, look at you. You can recenter back to normal. Here's the mimic mode. When you press the mimic motion, so it tells you want to make sure this is the same way you have the phone, the gimbal. So basically I had to go fly like this. I go press start on the screen. Oh, sorry, I should have done it that way. So now you can see it's moving with my, do it again. So you had to hold it this way, sorry, my bad. Last time I did this like a while ago. Press start, now you can actually do the mimic control with your phone. Cancel that. You can also do stop and start recording if you really had to go that far. Do that when you can connect it into it. Under creative video, you can do track recording, motion time lapse. You can do object tracking, which I'm going to do it shortly. And that will be probably the last thing I'm going to do because I only have 45 minutes and we are 36 minutes on. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, it should work really well. I'm going to do is I'm going to turn everything off, and then going to do is balancing with the adapter that come with it. If you recently bought your AirCross 2, it should come with this little adapter, which is you can attach on top of your camera. Let's see whether I can go to different angle. Actually, I'm on the right angle, sorry. So you put this on top. This is actually pretty cool. I actually like this. I'm trying to find something similar so I can use it for everywhere else too. There's a control in the back here. When you unscrew this, you can then turn it to different. You can then sweep this into this position. Or you can go back to the normal position where we want it. So you attach it on top of the camera. Yes, then you have to rebalance again, which can be a pain in the butt. Oh, look at that. Tough, heavy. We're going to lock that. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We lock the roll axis. We're going to lock the pan axis, the bottom one. And we're going to keep this one here. Well, I can lock it for now so I can balance it right. What I'm going to do is put the phone onto the camera, unlock the tilt axis, do the balancing. See, it's back heavy, so I'm going to so it's back heavy. I'm going to do is push this forward. And yes, when you have a phone on the top, you may have limited tilt feature options and so on because it's making it a little bit bigger, taller. One thing I forgot to mention: the battery of the gimbal lasts about 12 hours. So not 12 minutes, 12 hours battery life. And the payload for this gimbal is 7 pounds. So it looks like it's okay. So I'm going to lock this part up. I'm going to double check the one on the top. Front heavy, push back. Back heavy now. So that may be something we're going to do with this one. Ooh, remove it. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you had questions, post it right away. It has about 20 to 30 seconds delay for me to be able to see it. All right, so this seems to be balanced to a degree. We're going to do the roll axis right now to make sure it works. One of my lights is going up and on and off, which is kind of weird. So I'm using this free software called the Air2 Live Air Action, which is actually pretty cool. You can actually use the iPad Pro as the main control panel, and then use several, up to 6 different iOS devices or Android devices as a remote cameras, and they're all connected by Wi-Fi, and then you make it work. So it's a kind of cool little gadget I've been using last Monday and then today, and this coming Monday I do another live stream about marketing and filmmaking. If you guys want to stick around for that this Monday, 7 o'clock. Let's see what else I can do here. Okay, so that's fairly done. We'll make sure the pan balance is done too. That seems to be okay. All right, so this seems to be all fine and dandy. What we're going to do is turn it on by holding the power button. All right, so object tracking has nothing to do with the camera. So it's all because the phone is controlled with the gimbal by using the phone's, the Moza Master, which means that if you don't have the phone on top of your camera, you're not going to be able to do the object tracking at all. And so that's something that people always ask. Yes, the software is free. Actually, Teradek make them. It's a free software you can download from the website. I have it actually in my description, what's the name called. You can check that out. What hub I'm talking about here? Now you're going to use the phone as a tracker. Yes, I'm using the phone as a tracker. So the phone is going to be a track. What we're going to do is handheld. Hopefully you guys can see this. There you go. Oh, great. I'm going to show you my password. All right, so we go to, what's that, AirCross 2, connected. It should be the one. Is it this one? Nope, connect the wrong one. This one. Ah. No. Okay, enter. So once you're in the screen on the menu screen, you're gonna go to creative videos. You go to object tracking, and basically you have to track whatever is in front. I was gonna put my hand in front, but then I don't have another hand to work on that. So what I'm gonna do is give me a minute. Sorry, you can feel dizzy. My hand do not have stabilization. Okay, almost there. Let's see if I can pan this up a little bit. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna have my hand to be like my face. You basically do a square on my hand. That's it. See how it works? It's not really that easy. If you take your hands off quickly, it doesn't track anymore. So you can actually close out the tracking option and redo that again for something else. So let's put a little toy ball. Let's say I want to track this ball. Put it in front on the camera, not the. No, I'm sorry. You put it in front of the phone, not the camera. You draw a box on it, and it will do it. Quickly go all the way, it's gone. And you can press this button and then go back to normal. So that's actually simple to do. I'm not sure why people have some issue. Actually, I do know that Android object tracking doesn't work 100% because Android phone, there's so many versions, so it's hard to decide which one actually will work. But that actually, I would recommend that if you want to do object tracking, use your phone, which is an iPhone. I think it's an iPhone 7 and up are pretty decent to do so. I'm using the one on top there is the iPhone 11. So the more powerful your phone is, the better tracking it will get, because you have to see the object, analyze the object, transmit the information to the gimbal, and then do the tracking. So any other questions so far? Thanks, guys. The tracking is actually one of the cool stuff, but I hardly use them anyway. How far away the object can be tracked? That's a very good question, James. Gee, thanks. Let's see how far I can go. I'm gonna track this again. Oops. Uh-oh, it's not tracking anymore. Nope. There's not enough light in the back here, so it cannot track easily. So, come on, come back. It froze. Did not do it. That's a very good question. I don't know how far I can go, but it did not work. So there might be something I had to keep figured out. Let's do it again. I went to sleep mode because I forced it to turn around. Okay, this is about a feet away from the phone, not the camera. Up. Let me do it again. I'm about 3 feet away from the phone, from the camera. It's already gone. It's also about lighting too, because it gets too dark. It cannot track it. So whenever you're going to do that, you want to make sure your lighting is good. Otherwise, you won't be able to track. Earlier, I tried about 7 feet back, but it got dark, so I couldn't see it. And let's see what I do in selfie mode. I won't be able to do it anyway because the camera is not, the screen is not facing me. So I need another person to help me on this stuff. So, but anyway, that's basically how it works. And any other question for now? Because I think we're at the end of the programming, and hopefully this actually helps everybody here. It's not all the details, but you have enough information. Yes, the bigger the object, the better, and the more light you have for the object, the better it will become. So yes, there's a lot of things you have to do. Let's say you are tracking a person. I have no problem with being tracked about 7 to 8 feet away from it, and that was outdoor. And I have a video demonstration of that on the 5 of the top features I like about the AirCross 2. You can probably find it down here, and so, and try to figure it out. And all right, thank you guys for watching, and if you guys feel like it, this Monday at 7 o'clock, I'm doing one about marketing and promotion for films. So nothing to do with gimbals, but it's more about filmmaking stuff. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye.